So let's talk about guilt. Of all of the emotions that survivors of childhood trauma experience, guilt is the one I think that is the most difficult for people to overcome. That and shame. So I want to talk to you about how in families where children's needs aren't getting met, shame, guilt, and fear show up. Once you understand that, and then you experience a sense of guilt because you're trying to think about yourself or trying to make a decision that is right for you, but maybe not right for someone else. As soon as you think about guilt in the way that I'm going to explain to you right now, it will make making your decisions and releasing guilt that much easier. So people who don't put your needs first, and that includes parents who are abusive or in homes where kids' needs aren't getting met, use 3 strategies to control: guilt, fear, and they use shame. So we know fear. Fear comes from when a parent threatens us, or we know that they've hurt us in the past physically, and we know what their triggers are. So all we have to do is see them start to become angry, and then we will do what they want as their children. This also will carry over into your adult life when you think somebody might be mad at you, and you don't want them to get angry or aggressive. So you do what they ask you to do or what you think they might want you to do because you want to avoid what might happen. You're responding to the strategy your parents use, your caregivers use, fear, to get you to do what they wanted. Shame is calling of names, is any kind of "you don't belong to us if you do something like that" kind of suggestion. Parents use that too. And what happens with us when we have a sense of shame, it's that sense that we kind of can't overcome the wrongness that we find in ourselves. But the problem with that wrongness is it is learned or assumed because of the way our parent treated us when they were not taking care of our needs in the way they should have. Guilt, though. Guilt is a different, interesting thing. Parents use guilt by making us feel bad about having our own needs. We all have the basic rights of food, having a safe place to live, knowing that nobody's going to harm us and that we can be free from illness, knowing that nobody's going to call us names or give us the silent treatment if we don't do the things they want. But parents who use guilt actually will withhold love if we don't put their needs first, or they'll suggest that something we're doing is hurting them, even if it's not. And so when you start to feel guilty because someone is suggesting that what you're trying to do is wrong, when all you're doing is looking out for yourself, I want you to answer 2 questions about your guilt. See, appropriate guilt should come in when you have done something intentionally to hurt someone. When that's the case, feeling bad about what you did and apologizing, appropriate to help you change your behavior. Even if you've done something by accident, a little bit of guilt helps you lead to apology for actually causing someone else harm. But sometimes guilt is inappropriate, many times when we're survivors of childhood trauma. And this is the time that I want you to ask these 2 questions. Question number 1, who am I hurting? Maybe you're not hurting anyone. Someone can say you're hurting them, but really look at your feelings. Look at what you're doing. What is your intent? Are you actually hurting someone? Question, what have I done wrong? Who am I hurting? Second is, who benefits from me feeling guilty? So for example, if someone is trying to control me and they can use words that make me feel bad about hurting them for something that I'm choosing. Say I'm choosing, it can be so benign, right? I'm choosing to not call anybody on the phone or not answer my phone after bedtime. But someone who's trying to control and persuade me of doing things the way they want says, I tried calling you, but you didn't answer the phone, trying to make me feel bad. Who did I hurt? No one. Who benefits? This person. If I can feel guilty about not picking up the phone, then they can get away with boundary violations. So ask yourself those two questions. Who am I hurting? And who benefits from me feeling guilty? The answers to those questions should help you identify whether that's appropriate or inappropriate guilt. And if it's not appropriate guilt, then start looking at setting boundaries for yourself and really being an advocate for yourself, because you're going to refuse to feel guilt that doesn't belong to you. I'm Tamara Ridge, the therapist that's been there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.